Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You can navigate the legal and emotional journey of divorce and exit a marriage the way you entered it, with mindfulness, love, and respect. Solace Divorce Mediation is a full-service law practice helping couples focus on the health and well-being of children and their forever co-parenting family. Our streamlined divorce journey offers flat fees with an estimated completion time frame of 2 to 4 months. If you or a friend need us, visit solacedivorce.com.
I think I could be a professional bell ringer. Oh my goodness. Remember in high school, the bell ringers? I mean, they were kind of like teased and stuff, but they could jam. They really could. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm so excited to be here. It's a beautiful day. It's the 13th day of June. Oh my goodness, it's moving so fast. Ooh, my birthday's coming, the 4th of July. The 4th of July. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful day. Oh, boy. Still catching up from running every weekend and Just found out this morning I have to go to Michigan again this weekend. But it's okay. When you don't have anything to do is when you start, what's wrong? There's nothing to do. So anyway, how you doing today? Put it in the comments. I'm so excited to be here with you. It's a beautiful day because we are here together, fulfilling what I believe to be one of the greatest opportunities. It's a promise. It truly is. It's a universal promise that when two or more of us, we join together, forces, our mindsets, our hearts of service, we all come together to pour into each other. Wonderful things happen starting with spiritual magic. And so I'm excited about today's illuminated conversation. It's a little different. Can I get an amen up in here? Can I get just one of you? Put a amen in the comments if you're glad to be alive today and happy with your life today. All right. So I did something a little different. I had a last minute cancellation yesterday, which happens, life happens. But I always go to, well, these two said, today's guest, oh, call us anytime. Boy, did they not know what they were committing to when they put that out there. But they're here today. So I've got Badass Jamie Lane and Beard. Beard needs some more words attached to his. Beard the brawny beard. Something. Anyway, I just love these two. They're a wonderful couple. They're a dynamic duo, in my opinion. And they're going to come in today. I told them, or I asked them rather, if they would be willing to just come in with a topic. Just surprise me. I like surprises too, every now and then, right? So I see Beard is popping in and out. Now I think he's going to go over and scoot in with Jamie Lane. I'm looking at them in the green room. Girl, don't stand up on camera. Yeah, you already know. I'm just kidding. She's pretty in yellow today. So anyway, let's put our hands together. Let's provide the virtual red carpet if we can. How do we do that? We do a standing ovation every day here for our guests, virtually that is, by hitting some hearts. Put them up on the screen as we welcome today's guest, Badass Jamie Lane and Beard the Beast. I don't have Beard in here yet because his camera's not on. And you're muted. These two. Boy, get ready,
I'm
y'all.
wondering, he knew he couldn't see himself, but you said you saw him, so we're trying to figure
Well,
that
I
out.
saw that he was here.
Oh, I love her. Come over here, love. You leave the studio and come over here.
Love her.
Ooh, I'm getting hot already just thinking about him. Hold on a second.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
I love that Facebook cover on Beard's page, which I have the link to today so everybody can pop over there and take a look.
Yeah. Well, the Facebook cover? Oh, of his. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so Beard. I just love him.
Morning.
Good morning. I know you're probably going to get angry with me or do this because I'm eating Golden Grahams and bananas.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Why would I do
Thank
that?
you. Well, you know, Jamie, if it don't have some hemp seeds in it, we be throwing hemp seeds up in everything. Sprinkles on cupcakes, everything. So anyway.
Yesterday she took some tuna and she blended up some hemp seed and then smashed it with the tuna into patties and fried them up, just like you were talking about.
I know. That's what we're going to talk about that today. How are you two doing?
Great.
Amazing.
Yes.
How are you doing? Oh, he's frozen. We're going to talk about how great Lauren's doing right now. I see all your posts. You look good. You sound good. A lot of things going on.
I like his shirt there, Unity. Well, today, while Lauren is frozen there, what we wanted to talk about today would be our philosophies. And I think it's really important to have your own operating philosophy.
Yeah,
and
keep talking.
Ours doesn't change from personal to business. And another reason why that's really cool, I think, is because how do you find someone that has the same views as you when you're considered radical or whatever? And I think being able to, it's not like we had to mesh our views or try to work around anything like that. It was we were already connected. We already felt or knew the same things.
Yeah. We radicalized each other.
Yeah, what she said. Okay. Now, again, Comcast, plus it's raining here in Chicagoland today. So if I get booted, if anybody here doesn't know Jamie, yep, she's going to do that right there. There it is. It's legal. If I should get booted by the internet energy, just keep going. They can still hear you guys. So how long have you two been together? Let's just talk about that for a minute.
Okay, about 12 years.
12 and a half years, yeah.
12 and a half. She probably knows the exact date. We met at a concert, a ska band, Real Big Fish, and we were skanking and what do they call it? Skying?
Yeah, skanking.
Skank has turned into a different word.
Yeah. I was going to say, that ain't what I thought it meant. I know about 4 of them. Right. Well, I'm glad you're here. Jamie, before we get started on, you have your topic, right?
Yep.
Okay. I would just want to put it out there for everybody. You guys remember that peach cobbler a couple years ago?
Oh, yeah.
How I'd been looking for a peach cobbler recipe for decades. Finally got one, and Jamie gave it to me. And I told you a couple weeks ago, I think you should do a cookbook.
I know.
I really think you should do a cookbook. Like, and this morning on the way to the health club, I kind of had a download. I don't know if it was me, I think it was half me, half spirit, co-creating, but we both agreed nonetheless. And I have a name: Foods That Heal, or healing recipes, or healing entrees, or something like that.
Okay, I like the heal in the word.
The healing, yeah, really. And so because you just amaze me. You have this biology mindset, and and you literally cured your son.
Yeah.
People may not, some of them may not know. Give them the Reader's Digest version of how you did that.
All right, real quick. Basically, my son was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when he was a newborn, and 5 years had gone by with him on FDA-approved drugs. And he had developed liver damage. I knew that because of his liver enzymes test. I didn't even know what liver enzymes was. Anyway, I asked him, how the fuck could my son's liver be failing when he's been under your care? So I tried to talk to them about different options. They didn't want to hear it. So I took matters in my own hand, and I started him on a regimen of CBD with limonene. Limonene is a terpene. It comes from an essential oil. And basically what that does is it helps with liver repair. So the constituents in CBD, which match our essential amino acids inside of us, plus the limonene, repaired his liver. And his liver enzymes decreased 32%, over 30%. His glucose levels dropped 13 points, and his lung function increased 18%. And with all of those things involved, all of those numbers showed more progress than any cystic fibrosis FDA-approved drug out there.
I was getting ready to type it in because I couldn't wait any longer. I was going to put it up as a banner. Y'all see how Beard looks at Jamie when she's using all those big scientific words and stuff? That must be a turn on for you, Beard. You were like,
I'm smart too. Give me any topic. I'll tell you all about it.
Well, you got your chance today. Thank you for that, though, for putting that out there. And so, what have you brought today? As far as boy, these golden grahams are good. Ooh, some golden grahams.
Cinnamon and bananas. Yum. Cinnamon's an antioxidant as well. So yummy.
Yeah, I love those.
Good.
I just can't eat cinnamon anymore.
I can't either. Not much.
Not raw. So what'd you bring?
So today we wanted to talk about our philosophies, our radical philosophies. A little bit. And before we do that, though, one of the things that Beard brought to me years ago, I don't get into those who are considered wise or bromancers or whatever like that on TV. I don't know anyone's philosophy. I didn't know anything about anybody who knew anything about mindset. I didn't know anything about it, but Eric does follow people or whatever. So one of the things he's always come to me and talked to me about was Tony Robbins. It wasn't even Tony Robbins. It was another female from years and years and years ago. I don't even want to mention Tony Robbins. So,
my God, I was around Tony Robbins people this weekend.
Oh yeah, I love his stuff. And I was telling her about Tony Robbins, about Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hayes, the Four Agreements. There's a lot of great philosophies and
Oh my
books.
God, the Four Agreements. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Yes.
Yeah, and did you read A New Earth also
By Eckhart?
by Eckhart Tolle? Oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
it's good. And I never knew if it was Tolle because you know when you read a word but you never heard it out loud.
I know. I had to go because I was going to mention him on a show once. I had to go and find an interview where they said it so I could hear how it was.
Yeah.
Because when you asked Siri, she messed it up so bad. I was like, girl, I don't know how you keep your job for real. It is not, it wasn't even close. Even I knew that. So anyway, keep going.
Wait, hold on. Do you remember the movie Bebe's Kids?
Yes.
Okay, when the word meme came out, I didn't know how to pronounce it, and I thought it was May May, like Bebe.
The word meme when it came out.
Yeah, I was like, look at this May May, and people like this what?
That's funny.
I like this.
Well, I've been pretty saddened in my life. There were two words that I found as an adult that I've been saying wrong my entire life. One was in softball or baseball, pinch hitter. I always heard it as pitch, a pitch hitter. Yeah, it's not. It's pinch.
Oh, like if we're in a pinch, then you.
Yeah, pinch hitter. And the other one, which I actually wrote the author of the book, I forget his name. He wrote he probably still does, a bunch of Western books. And I was reading one and he said card sharp. And I was like, it ain't, you had an error in your book. It's a card shark. And actually, the correct word is card sharp.
No. What?
Yes.
Pretty sure I've heard that one before. Yeah.
It is not card shark.
Damn.
I know. You can find card shark, but originally, I mean, it really is card sharp. We just.
If the internet didn't exist, I would be challenging you, but I'm sure you looked it up.
I'm not kidding. Okay. So this radicalness of the two of you. Why that topic?
Because I think it's important for people to understand themselves and have their own core values and operating philosophy. And if they don't know where they stand at all.
Hi, Jim Mitchell.
Hi, Jim Mitchell. Oh, Dr. Laura, Facebook user. I think it leads us down a way where we're impressionable. Instead of being able to look at things and be aware of things for what they are, people just accept things that they see and hear without question, without examining everything around us. And I think we're so powerful as a unit, as a one thing, right? All of us are so powerful. And I don't think we really understand our power to begin with. And I think it's really important to know what you stand for and who you are.
I agree. I mean, if you're going to be authentic, if you're going to be vulnerable, transparent, all of those things that speak to being completely open to give and open to receive, you have to know what's inside the box you're opening. You know what it stands for, what's on the label, what are the ingredients, So, and that is true. Hence the term, the blind leading the blind. Stand there, and we do it a lot, all of us, myself included. We all do it, and it's interesting. One thing I find about it that is very interesting to me about myself is that I scrutinize and I'm skeptical a lot about the things that are spiritual or that when it comes to things that I fiercely protect. Now I'll break it down. I'll turn it in every direction, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, corner to corner. But then there are things about myself personally, about Lauren, that I just will do over and over and over and over and over. Sometimes things oftentimes, that do not serve me. Because it's a part like it's been an imprint. Mm-hmm. You don't realize that you've been blindly doing it. You think you understand why until someone asks you, why do you?
Because you don't even know what you need. We don't even know what we need as a human. And that was one of the things that Eric started getting me think about all these years. And he kind of opened my philosopher side. And you know.
Boy, you scared me for a minute.
One of the
I'm about
ways
to
that
drink
I
my milk, y'all. Go ahead.
one of the ways that I know she really is a philosopher, because you know how in life sometimes you'll make something up and you'll decide it's true and you'll go along with it, right?
Yes.
Whenever Jamie comes up with something based on her experience and she drops her philosophies here and there, I'm like, that reminds me of one of the greats. And it always is one of the greats. I'm like, that reminds me of what he says in Power of Now, enjoying the present. Or, you know what, that seems a lot about, certainty, variety, or the feeling of human significance. And those types of things where I'm related. She's like, well, I didn't read that. I came up with that. That's what I've always believed. You know what I mean? And you can see. And also it's helpful to have somebody who will point out and tell you your habits and your things that you could take a look at, not necessarily demanding change, but because you don't always know what you need. I can give someone great advice, but then have the exact same something similar going on with me and not even be able to see it until someone points it out, and as long as we have the right mindset and perspective, then we can accept those types of gifts from someone else. Mm-hmm. Like, here's a funny example. Well, I don't know if it's an example, but here's something that I thought about. You ever hear somebody go like this?
Yes.
And it's like really annoying, and you think that they're frustrated. And you're like, did I do something wrong? Right. And then everyone's feeling tense or whatever because of that.
Yes.
I was looking that up, and one of the evolutionary things, because when we get into stress, it's supposed to be we get cortisol coming to us because a predator is chasing us, right? It's not supposed to be this all day, everyday thing. One of our release mechanisms, naturally, without thinking about it, our brain and our body automatically will slowly release air while holding some pressure. And it sounds exactly like that is a natural unconscious mechanism to release stress done by a body. That's not somebody trying to make a comment or a point about somebody else who did wrong. And people go around getting these weird misconstrued ideas just because society has told us what to think about certain things that happen.
So it's like autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
I think our body does that a lot in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
Just like when you start getting sleepy.
Right.
Or you start getting hungry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yawning. They did some studies about yawning and how it's contagious. And even dogs and humans can have contagious yawns back and forth. Not other animals will pick up the same way. So I thought that was interesting.
Now, what about cravings?
Ooh.
I find that real interesting. So Eric and I, health issues, we have found out that a lot of our cravings is a hormone imbalance, which is gut. It all goes to the gut, our bacteria and our mind-body connection and stuff. We are literally connected through a vagus nerve. We'll get to that later.
And we're literally walking bacteria.
Yeah, we are.
Go on.
So the cravings that we have we found that we're dehydrated. Something's dysregulated. Our core functions aren't working properly. We're not connected somehow.
Or ate some sugar earlier and it's a fake craving. Sugar causes crazy fake cravings.
Yes. Yeah, it fucks with your hormone system. It messes with your bacteria because it starts building these unhealthy bacterial colonies inside of
all sugar or processed sugar?
There you go. Processed sugar. I mean, even sugar from
all sugar.
Like
all
raw sugar.
Even if you squeeze the juice out of a fruit, if you're not eating the contents of the actual plant or whatever, and you're just having fruit juice, sugar. Yeah, that's fructose, it's glucose, it's feeding the bacteria, the ones who want to ferment and and create colonies that are going to imbalance the entire system.
We need bacteria.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so when bacteria and stuff like that,
they thought they were gonna stump me.
Okay. We want to feed that bacteria, which comes from prebiotics. A lot of people say, doctors are going to tell you, do the probiotics. What's up, badass blunt talk girl, Lori?
Oh, Lori Whitney. Good morning, Lori.
They keep telling us to feed our probiotic or do probiotics. Well, what do you think feeds the probiotics? The prebiotics is what feeds the probiotics. What's up, Adam? So
what are prebiotics?
Those are like the fibers and stuff.
Yeah. So
The prebiotics feed the healthy and good bacteria, and the sugars feed the unhealthy bacteria. And you do want to balance, right? If you eat too much sugar and carbs, you're going to unbalance it one direction. And if you eat straight up fiber, you can also feel some not good and unbalance it the other direction. Is it imbalance? It's probably imbalance.
Can I ask a gross question?
Go for it.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, here it comes. Can you tell stuff from your poop?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love
Nobody ever
this.
talks about it.
We talk about it. I talk about it in my book a lot. Fuck the FDA, a holistic approach to cystic fibrosis.
Who knew?
I love you too, Lauren. Or I don't know if you're talking to Lauren. I'm just gonna say
Talking to all of us.
Yeah, that's a great question. Is it hard? Is it bulky? Is it coming out loose? Is it gray, which is liver damage? Is it yellow? Did you eat something, a lot of something like blueberries and it's coming out, or beets and it's red?
Right.
You know, is it squishy? Is it coming out easy? Is it hard? Like, and here's what we've learned. Now you can look online and get a basis reference of where your stool should be. Okay. You're also going to know based on what you eat and your lifestyle, what your bowel movements,
gross.
what
Lord.
it looks like. I just looked at my, get it, girl. There's nothing wrong with that.
TMI.
We checked my boo's poo for like 8 or 9 years. It's only this past year that I'm not allowed to look at his bowels anymore.
Right. I don't blame him.
It's so important. I had to know what his poops looks like because that's what it meant when his liver was failing.
Right.
And
you know what? I was wondering the same thing today. Like, if you feel real gassy, do people, and at what age do people start going, I wonder what I ate, and then switch that to, oh, I already know this is because I ate blah, blah yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I already know it's because I ate cheese yesterday. Or are people walking around going, why do I feel like this? You know what I mean?
A lot of that. I used to be that person, but we know now exactly because we had stomach flu, Brian and I both, the week after I returned from Romania. And we I remember y'all because I blamed it on Panda Express. It wasn't Panda Express because it was not food poisoning. We found out it was stomach flu. And it hit us both differently. I was done in a day, you know. Brian, it took 3. And
I hope you changed your review on Panda Express.
I didn't put one in. I didn't. I was too weak. But
Poison
the thing is,
I was just kidding. This is actually good stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, we learned a lot about ourselves because the way our bodies responded. How I was up in one day, Brian, it took 3, and different things like that. And here's another thing. That's why I brought up the poop thing. I noticed, and I was like, well, you know what? Every time my body rejects something, the stool sinks because you can see you can see through the water down there. But when it's healthy, it floats.
I love that. I love that.
Somebody should Google that.
All those toxins are weighing it down.
But it's a real thing because it makes you, because I was that kind of kid. I still am that kind of kid where it's like, oh, I wonder what makes it do that. So let's keep talking about, okay, so that's one way. What are some other signals when our bodies are speaking to us? You know, I think that should be a great book. Do you know the language of your body? Because it speaks to us in its own language that is between us and them, because we're the ones co-creating the conversation. If the way your body responds is a conversation, when you're feeling great, everything's we're happy together. But when you're feeling, oh God, what did I do? Well, you know that. Don't you think it's really like a conversation?
It really is. And I'm glad that you said that, because of the vagus nerve that runs from our brains all the way through our bodies to our belly buttons to every single thing that controls us. Okay. And what we have found, it is usually your vagus nerve is dysregulated. Okay. You are feeding yourself, consuming whatever it is. You're consuming things that are toxic to everything. Let me give you an example. I know there's a lot of people who eat a lot of processed foods and foods out there. I get it. It's delicious. They spent billions of dollars of research to feed you poison, So you rely on it. So you go to the doctor and you fucking take some more of their poison, and now you're completely fucked and you need to rely on them all the time. But
True.
Right.
That's
So,
true. Even with their warnings that are
Yeah.
speed spoken
yeah,
at the end could cause diarrhea and death. Yeah, always
exactly.
put that one last. They make sure you hear it though.
Yeah. Or you're sluggish. Okay. You can't even think straight, which is adrenal fatigue. We're realizing because our cortisol levels are so fucking hijacked or dysregulated and up and down. So if you're feeling like dizziness and you don't know why, brain fog, you know you got 8 hours of sleep and you just cannot get enough energy. Like
Right.
that is a huge signal. You're not just tired, okay? Your body is fucked. And you're going to keep going like that. I've seen people like, I don't understand how people are living. I really don't.
Well, it's not just foods that people consume. You got to realize we're also consuming our hormones and our emotions, right?
Yeah.
Cortisol is a real thing. It's a hormone that comes out of a gland and it gets digested. It causes, they've done tons of studies, it causes a lot of disruptive stomach things.
Gut bacteria. It affects the gut bacteria.
Yeah, the bacteria.
Your stress levels.
And guess what dissolves cortisol? Oxytocin, the love hormone. When you help somebody out, when you hug somebody. That, yeah, it sure does. So
I didn't know that.
And we're consuming these just as much as we're consuming the food. And those, just like she was saying, feed the bacteria, they feed our organs, they're feeding everything.
Yeah.
And so our bodies a lot of the time are sending us signals. Either you ate something, maybe you had too much stress going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different.
I got a question. Okay. So you know how a lot of us assume, well, this is good for you. That's a healthy choice. And you see these pop-up ads and stuff on Facebook that say 5 fruits that you should avoid or 5 vegetables that you should avoid. Did you know that these healthy nuts can kill you or whatever? They got all these things. And I'm like, no, stupid me. I watch them every time just to see what it is, because they make it seem like you got to watch the whole thing or we're not going to tell you.
I know, assholes.
And you're in it 40 minutes and they still haven't told you, you know, and you're like this by now. Just tell me, you know. So let's talk about that. Where do people go? Because they're always changing, you know, they're changing, you know. I mean, I remember when I grew up, wheat bread was considered the healthy bread, one of them. And then, you know, now I know wheat, belly fat, this, that, and a lot of other things. But we didn't hear a lot about gout. We didn't hear a lot about what's that thing where people are where they can't eat flour and what's that called?
Gluten or celiac disease.
Gluten free and all that. They didn't have that when I was little. You know, luckily I thought we were eating healthy with the wheat bread while my friends were eating Wonder Bread, and I knew something was wrong with that because you could ball it up and just put a little water on it and turn it right back to dough. You can turn it back to dough and rebake it. I was like, I like that. It'd be all gummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last forever outside of the refrigerator. You know, really, I always felt like this when it comes to breads and things. First thing, when I was transforming my body, I started buying bread that had the 2 wrappers. It had the hard plastic wrapper on the inside, ones that had nuts and things in them, because there was living stuff in the bread. So, and you got to keep that, really, you want to keep it in the refrigerator or it's going to go. So I was like, okay, that's fresh. That's got life in it. But there are a lot of things that we eat. Can you talk to some misconceptions of what some people may think are healthy? And you know, pretty much for a fact that they are not, things that we don't know, that we take for granted just because they told us this is good for you.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you talk about goes back to globalism. And, you know, just a few decades ago, when people were getting food, it wasn't international food being shipped into their grocery stores. I think with a lot of the distribution systems that are set up worldwide, we're now at a system where we're importing the fruits from places like, say, Guatemala and Venezuela, because, you know, they have different seasons. But what do when they pick their fruit? They're going to put it in a refrigerator for months to keep its color and then wait and ship it over here. And then you have to trust all the people in the grocery stores who are setting it out, right? They're refrigerating it again another time. And then you have the cross contamination. So I think a lot of And not only that, they've done a lot of genetic modifications to food to make it bigger and plumper looking, to feed more people but have less nutritional value. And like we got some blackberries the other day that tasted like no flavor at all. There was no juice, no flavor. It looked plump and delicious.
Right.
It had the right color, but it was nothing. And you could tell a lot of the times they're growing it out of straight water or sand where there's no organic matter and no nutrients in the soil. So a lot of what people think they're eating is only the fruit or vegetable in name of what it used to be. And anything that you get from the middle of the grocery store is boxed, dehydrated stuff where everything's been sucked out of it.
All the living food is on the perimeter.
Yes. So if you're getting stuff that's, local and in season, and a lot of the time it's hard to tell. Like we're in Florida and I was going to the grocery store and I was getting these oranges, and when I opened up, they were dry and they were from a different country and from a different season. And I'm like, why? We're literally in Florida oranges. Why am I not buying Florida oranges at the grocery store? Shouldn't they sell that locally? But because of globalism, it's still cheaper for them to buy the ones from some different country.
Right. And a lot of that is mindset. And as far as their marketing and whatnot, I've noticed at my local grocery store, shout out to Jewel. They started, ever since they opened an Amazon Fresh here in our town, everything started changing at the grocery stores because it's a look. So now at my grocery store, they put this cart out front when the weather changed with all this corn on it and baskets of corn, and they got an old front of a truck where there's like hay and stuff stacked on right. And then they stack all these fruit and vegetables out there around it. And I'm like,
when you go look at it, is it really local or is it just an image they're trying
that's my point. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in the country. Give me all of it. It's so fresh and delicious. Right. Like, don't even question it.
This little pig running around.
Right. And the thing about
farm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, here's a good indicator of what not to believe. The food pyramid. It's full of shit. You can find me on it all day long.
I've heard that. No, I've heard that. They
DNA, we do not need dairy. There is nothing in our DNA that says we need anything from a fucking cow that has dairy in it. We don't need it. The wheat. Look, the Little House on the Prairie wheat is not what we're eating now. Okay?
Okay, wait. So when a woman breastfeeds her baby, is that milk considered dairy?
Depends on what she's consuming. What is she eating?
Oh, I don't know if it has lactose in it. Depends on if you're going by FODMAP or what.
I said anything from a cow. We don't
know, but then
Yeah. What I think whatever she eats. That's why it's so important.
You definitely need the mom milk.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, that's because it has the cannabinoids and some other stuff in there too.
And it has her bacteria. It has her entire bodily
placenta
profile.
Hormones. I consumed my placenta in tincture form. No, I had it grounded down.
And turn into powder and then put into little pills. Pills, Lauren.
Did you know they make makeup from placentas?
Yeah, it has so many hormones. I needed those hormones because of postpartum. Anyway, if she's it's so much nutrients in the woman and stuff like that. Right. So to reconsume that and then feed it back to your baby, huge.
Oh, if anyone's about to have a baby, keep the cord attached for a few minutes past whenever they're about to cut it. Be like, hold on, can you give us a few extra minutes? Look that one up too. All right,
heart's still beating. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, the food pyramid is bullshit.
Yep.
So
you can get away with that. Clearly, you haven't been abducted by a black van since your book F the FDA came out. So you go right ahead. They ain't scared of me. I might come up
with the food pyramid van.
I ain't saying shit against them because
this pyramid shaped black van rolls up. We're from the kidnapper and Florida. And that takes
I'm the shape bandit. They can't touch me.
That reminds me of her first philosophy in Torch Tea is time, right? Mm-hmm. Why do people a lot of the time? It's because of time. They work so much and people have such a little amount of time that they're forced to eat this nonsense. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to have to quickly eat the drive-through or the boxed foods or whatever because it takes so much time to home cook and then scrub the dishes and do everything afterwards.
Well, our whole entire philosophy thing is why do we even have grocery stores, first of all? I mean, I could go back and back and back, but they made us believe that we need that because
because someone
Hold
else
on.
owns
I think
all
it
the
was-
land.
Yeah. Go ahead. What, Lauren?
Well, here's another thing too. Post COVID, because I watched, because when COVID came, a big thing for grocery stores was curbside pickup.
Yep.
And then also they'll just bring it to your house,
Mm-hmm.
and deliver it. But I started watching the people in there picking the stuff. And I'm very particular. Like Lori says, she said, always pick your food from the back of the shelf, not the front. And I do that, especially so with produce, that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are shopping for people, and I was wondering, I wonder if that's an elderly person. Probably is. They just can't risk coming out during the the pandemic and whatnot. And they had kids that don't even cook or shop yet, picking the food. How do they know
They
a
don't.
good piece? Yeah. And we haven't even gotten into these other little hot topics real quick, but I'm gonna throw this out there: hothouse tomatoes, as opposed to vine ripen. The hothouse tomatoes, like in those off seasons, that's what you were talking about, and other things, but they're mealy. They got that white thing. They're like smush. They're not. When you cut them, like when a good tomato is starting to go, it's like smushy.
Yeah.
Hothouse tomatoes had a meaty taste. I'm doing it with my tongue. That's what that was. Yeah. And then also, here's another thing. And I bought it. We just had some in Chile last night. And I remember when I was so proud when I plucked it. What you got against chili?
No,
We
I said,
love chili. We
I
can't
thought
eat
you guys
it.
looked just like,
No,
oh.
that has all the foods we're not allowed to eat, but we both love chili.
I knew there was something in that look. Don't tell me because it's still in me. We ate it all though. There are no leftovers, so I got to worry about that. But my point was, when I reached into the freezer and pulled out grass fed, I was like, oh, I'm so proud I'm doing better. Let's talk about that. Just because it just looks, the words on it, and it's all dark, and the packaging is different than that other kind that they grind in the store. You know how they just put the paper on, that's that. And I'm thinking to myself, now, fool, you haven't even read anything past grass. Hey, take it. I'll take it. That sort of thing. And another thing, like if it says 87%, 92%, fat free, this and other, and then when you make it, I'm looking at how much I'm draining off, and I'm like, I really can't tell the difference. But the price is different.
Yeah, it sure hell is.
That's why there needs to be a book.
Well, here I talk
A
about this.
survival guide.
Exactly. So in my 5 radical philosophies towards, I talk about this in oneness and health. Here's the thing with that. Great that it's grass fed, first of all, but
How we know?
how for that, and how are these cows? How are they being treated? Are they all, for me, they're called meat farms. I call them meat farms. They're manufactured cows. In my opinion, you have thousands and thousands and thousands of cows herded all together to eat, slaughter, eat, slaughter, herd.
They call it factory farming.
It's disgusting. That is what we're eating. That is what we're consuming. That is what we're putting into our body, in my opinion. Eggs, same thing. Chickens, they're grass-fed. They're feeding them synthetic feed. And then I believe, when you look at the chicken breast and other things like that and the eggs, what else are you feeding these chickens? And how much?
I've seen some chicken breasts that don't even look like they came off of an ostrich or something. They're so big.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of the modified chickens can't even walk anymore.
And that's the piece now that I remember when chicken breasts were chicken breasts.
Right.
And you had to cook them right or they
Right.
would be dry. Now they're so, now it's our least favorite piece for some reason, because it's just so distorted, a lot of it. And what about, okay, so here's a couple others I'm going to throw out there.
Keep going.
Organic. I just finished eating an organic banana. The way I can tell organic bananas, though, is they don't get ripe as fast. They don't go as fast. But
Are you refrigerating them?
What?
Are you refrigerating them?
No.
I'm just curious, because here's what we found out about bananas. I'm glad you brought this up, because wow, what a big one here. Okay. We didn't know why we felt like death for weeks at a time, because we had to keep drinking water. We were consuming a shitload of bananas. I want you to explain the refrigeration and everything like that, and the whole process of bananas.
Well, if you put a banana in the fridge, it won't turn brown. It'll last for weeks and weeks and months, especially if you get them when they're green.
So
And
like avocado too.
The fruit inside is going.
Avocados too. Whatever you pick, any fruit you want.
Yeah, the fruit inside is getting old, even if the outside is still looking good. So a lot of the time, a banana that looks fresh is months old, and then that kind of sucks because you don't know, and you have to really trust because bacteria will be growing the entire time.
Right.
You know.
That was one of the things also. I'm glad you brought up bananas. The things you think you're eating are healthy. The species of bananas, everything is different about the food that you're eating. It's not the same. Broccoli, all these other things, it's weird. And what are you going to eat, right? Like, it's really tragic.
So the ones that are going to be most likely to not be in storage a long time are things that are local. Because the reason they put things in storage is because of the long distances that they're shipping it and the cold storage. You know what I mean? But if you have a place like the shout out to Murphy's Market that gets local and orders stuff like that, then yeah.
Go ahead, though, with your bananas.
Well, wait, I want to touch a little bit on what he said, too, like grass-fed beef.
Yeah.
I would have to look up because I don't even know the answer, but what do they allow grass-fed? Because those are all done by the lawmakers in Congress and lobbyists. For example, the milk lobbyists help get dairy put on the food pyramid and put in the schools. The reason that schools tell kids they got to drink their milk, and when you're on WIC and they say, here's some food stamps for whole milk specifically, those are all done by the milk lobbyists to make dairy part of the government program.
Which has hormones or whatever bullshit they want to put in our milk and our dairy and that we're feeding our children.
Yeah.
You know, that's what my grandma, I'll tell you, wait. My grandmother said that back in the 80s because suddenly little girls, 7 years old, had titties. In our family, they started getting titties. And they didn't have titties before. Their mamas and stuff didn't until they were nearing puberty. But now they'll be 9 years old with big old full breasts.
Yeah, that's the hormones they pump in.
She said, and she was born in 1900, and she said, that's
knew.
hormones. She said they're putting that's growth hormones.
Yep. Smart woman.
Right. Nasty.
Right. Just all of that stuff.
We only have a few more minutes.
And what about this too? Now, this is a good one. Because we just when we had our little stomach thing, I went to the pharmacist and he says, okay, Pepto-Bismol, and I was gonna get Pedialyte and some pH balanced water. He said, you had the pH balanced water. It was like, I forget the name of it. But anyway, he goes, don't get the other Pedialyte because it's really redundant. And it has a lot of sugar in it, Pedialyte. He goes, but that pH balanced water and it tastes good. And then I'm looking at it like, how we know? Unless you're a scientist, you got a litmus test and you can test the water to see if it's is this the blind leading? I mean, we just take it. You know, I mean, come on now. There's like 50, 60 different kinds of water.
Yeah, we live in a comply or die society.
Jamie had this package. I forget what it was, but it said up to 100% natural. Think about that. Up to 100%.
It could be 1%.
Natural labeling.
Yeah, it means nothing.
That's like winning the Publishers Clearinghouse on the envelope. You may have just won. And you didn't.
And you did.
You know, I remember when they used to trick us. Remember back in the day, and you put on stamps off and order all them magazines and shit. Right.
Oh, and
so easily led by wording and marketing and you're right. It's all government regulated.
Yeah.
And that's the key word, regulated. We all go to the government, but regulated.
Which leaves us dysregulated.
Oh, nice one.
Thank
you.
Say
it what?
Which leaves us dysregulated.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Regulated means what has been bought and paid for by the lobbyists. There was a study done by Stanford about laws and whether average American wants it passed. And there was only a non-existent, insignificant, statistically zero correlation between what the public wants and what laws are passed. And the ones that get passed are the lobbyists. The ones that they have a lot of campaign distribution. They have up in the 90% chance of getting the laws that they want passed. So whatever they want for labeling laws, if you're paying for it, that's what's happening.
Lori says we're eating chemicals. I
Absolutely.
agree.
100%.
So name 3 things from usually, let's say it was an ordinary weekly shopping trip, because everybody does it. I know I do. I'm always eye hustling, looking in other people's carts to see what they have when they go past me. I'm like looking at it
I'm
all.
hustling.
I do. I'll be like, girl, put them little Debbie's back. Or ew, you're right. And then I look at my own cart and I'm like, But I mean, I do try to be cognizant of what I bring home. Name 3 things, if you could, that will never cross the threshold to your house, at your house from a grocery store that people might be picking up every week on a grocery trip.
Bananas. I would never come into our house.
What? At all?
No, they're made of.
You just heard me say I was sitting up here eating it all my cereal, and I had an extra one.
Maybe you have different bananas. Maybe yours
man eating.
Well, ours have been in storage for 3 months before they got to us and they went bad. We were sick. I couldn't even think. I was vomiting. I was dizzy. And the only thing I had added to myself was bananas. It felt like we were dying. We couldn't get enough thirst. It was literally the bacteria. So we'll never eat bananas. Tomatoes are really harsh on us. We can't really.
Even vine ripened?
Well, let me not say tomato. Hold on. Instead of that, paprika will never come into our house. Nothing like that.
What you put on your potato salad?
And potatoes will never come into our house.
There answers that.
We're not doing nightshades right now. Potatoes, peppers, or tomatoes.
And we're not doing lectins.
We're doing low FODMAP.
While I have a pot of lectins on the stove right now with some good old smoked turkey wing in it. I do have pinto beans.
Yes. I love them. I do. I can't handle it. My body can't.
Okay, but then there's people who say, look, my great grandmama and everybody lived back then.
Oh, it's not about living. I would eat it if it didn't make me feel terrible. I don't care about indulging on things that aren't good for you. I don't care about that indulge.
It's different per person. Everyone has their own body chemistry, and some things make some people feel great. And
so what do you have against lectins?
Well, they disturb my body and they make my ears hurt and they create things and they make me feel dizzy.
But is that an individual situation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay then, because I'm gonna tell you, unless
we love food. We love food. I used to be 200 pounds. I love food. Okay.
Yeah, onions. We wish we could eat. Peppers, tomatoes. That's why we looked at each other when you said chili. Like, ooh.
We love peppers. We love tomatoes. We love beans. We love it all, but it hurts us. It hurts.
You were speaking of cravings at the beginning. If there's any craving, like something I don't buy, otherwise I'll just eat the whole thing. Mine would be cheese. Hers is definitely chocolate. What's yours, Lauren?
Oh, that's a Brian thing. Yes. Let me ask you about this process of cooking.
Okay.
Big deal right now, very popular. Air frying. What do you think about that? And convection ovens, because we just got new appliances in our kitchen, and our new oven has a convection oven. So I'm like, I can give away this air fryer, because it's pretty much the same thing. Do you think we're doing better because we're not having to fry to get that crispness or that texture that goes along with fried foods?
You know, I don't know much about air fryers and stuff because I don't get into gadgets. I fry it if I want it.
Okay.
And I bake it if I want it.
So if you fry, what do you fry in?
Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. You can do coconut oil, which I like. Hemp oil, if you're doing high, can be gross, but coconut oil.
A lot of people, I've heard that coconut oil is for high temperature cooking.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Do you wok at all? We wok.
Ooh, no.
I saw a graphic once of it was I don't know, 300 calories, the amount that it would be in fruit and vegetables, which is like a huge amount, and then the same amount of oil. It was like this teeny little amount of oil. So if you're doing as far as trying to count calories to lose weight, then yeah, anytime you can eliminate oil.
Yeah, if that's what you're trying to do, sure.
So, Thomas Oliver, thank you. So as we get out of here, I have your how much time we got? A couple minutes. Here is where if you want to, these two, they have radical views, and I love it. I love anything that disrupts the my mindset. I don't ever want it to be on loop. on repeat, where it
love
just goes automatically, because I believe that we all have a responsibility, first of all, to ourselves and to what we believe to be greater than ourselves. As part of that co-creation is to always be a little bit cynical, to always make sure that we're making informed choices, or else how can we claim to follow the 4 agreements wherein we are instructed to do our very best? So this is why these conversations are so important, that we have them whether you agree or not. You may not agree with even one thing you heard here today, but I hope you've heard one thing that you want to go and check out and dive a little deeper, if you will, for your own sake. No one is saying take what we say at face value and we're not here to, put a mind meld on you. But when we do talk and we share, sometimes you just might learn something. Never, ever think that as you become the teacher, you have no responsibility to remaining a student. So take that with you today. Badass Jamie Lane and Beard the Brawny, thank you so much for being here. And you guys, if you'd like to continue the conversation with these two, there are both, and I will drop both of these links with your permission, of course, in the comment section immediately at the conclusion of today's broadcast, which is now. So there's Jamie Lane official and also Eric Scott with a bunch of numbers, and them again. There you go. Okay. So thank you guys so much. Think about that cookbook.
Thank you.
I know I'd buy it for real. You guys are just a wealth of information and knowledge, and you live it. That's why I love to hear it from you. You didn't buy it on eBay, and it's not something you heard through the grapevine. So thank you so much. You guys get out of here. Come back tomorrow if you'd like. Dr. Lotus Roche is here to talk about her new book. She's been here before. And that's going to be a great week. We also have Thomas Oliver, who's in the house, coming up on Thursday, followed by J.R. Reed. It's been a couple years since J.R. has been here with us. He's the Purple Chin autistic. He's, weird, not weird, just autistic guru. He'll be here to round out the week on Friday. So as in always, when we close, I say, God bless you. I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So, okay, Jamie, Beard, thank you so much. Mwah. You guys, great job as always. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.